Hello friends, and welcome to Escaping the Mouse with your host, me, Breck Roll. Alright, first day of my new weekend. This is a long weekend this weekend, and I have kind of some erratic work schedule coming up in the next week. You may recall when I was first starting the job, we were just in the first couple weeks, we went into a maintenance cycle where we literally shut down the facility so that we could work on all of the equipment, do overhauls on it, do all the preventive maintenance that doesn't get done the other 6 months of the year. And kind of do what we can to get these machines working again. Well, we're about to enter into another maintenance cycle, and my work schedule is going to be a little erratic as a result of that. Starting, I think, after next week, I think next Saturday is the last day of work. Actually, probably next Friday is the last day of work, and then I'm going to be off on Saturday and Sunday, I think, of this coming week. And then I'm going to be working, I think, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week. Now, it's not going to be full 12-hour days. It's going to be 8-hour days, but I'm not sure how much time there's going to be to do vlogging. And so I'm going to try and get a few vlogs into the hopper so that I don't have to worry about doing vlogs. I may still be able to do them, but they may be simpler ones, like maybe just going out and doing a hike and talking to the camera or something like that, or going and seeing something as opposed to doing any projects around the house during that time. So I want to do something today. It's going to be just a simple little project, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But before that, I have a little business I want to deal with. As you know, a lot of times, people leave questions in the comment sections of the videos, and if it's an interesting question or something I'd like to talk about, I'll often respond. Well, I got a question on yesterday's video where I, did the final day of the painting of the bathroom from one of my viewers, and I wanted to kind of answer their question, but it was a little bit more of a question than I could really get into typing it all out. So I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do it here, and I told the person, yeah, I'll post the answer in tomorrow's video. So this is it. The question was from Peg Tooth, and he wanted to know why, or if I had put bricks or rocks or anything like that in the tank to reduce the flow of water. And the answer to that is no, I haven't done that. And there's a couple reasons why I haven't done that. First off, I just spent 15 months in an apartment with low flow toilets and had multiple problems with plumbing issues and getting everything plugged up because there just wasn't enough water to flush everything out. Now, I think there were other problems going on there, and the apartment never dealt with it, and whatever, it's not my problem anymore. But I don't want to duplicate the problem here. Additionally, I just spent a ton of money redoing the sewer lines, and so I don't want to do anything that's going to cause problems. So I'm not going to do that. But that is an option. A lot of people do that. If you put a brick or some stones or something in the tank behind the toilet, it reduces the amount of water each fill, and it actually can be a good thing sometimes because saving water is a good thing. Now I'm going to try and be as delicate as I can because this is kind of a less than pleasant subject, and we're trying to keep this as a family channel. But sometimes it takes a lot more water to flush away solid material than it does to flush away liquids. So, putting a brick in there can reduce the amount of water, and that could cause problems at the end. But sometimes it is a good option. Now, there is actually another option that I really like that I might do at some point, but it involves replacing the toilets. Basically, there are toilets out there now that have dual flush modes. And basically, if you're doing a number one, you can press one button and it'll flush with just a very little amount of water, because it doesn't take a lot of water to flush liquid away. But if you're doing a number two, you can do the second flush mode, and you get more water at that point. That would be actually a preferable option, because then you can choose on a case-by-case basis which one you want to use. I do like the idea of conserving resources when we can, but sometimes when you conserve the resources, it causes more problems downstream. And so that's why I'm not doing that. If I do ever get to the point where I'm going to replace the toilets, I would definitely consider getting one of these dual flush mode toilets, because then you can pick and choose, and that's a good way to do it. And if we can save water, if we can save resources, that's a good thing to do. So anyway, I just wanted to answer that on here. You can see why I didn't want to type that all in, and it's a lot easier just to get on camera and do that. And it was a good question, and it's a good learning experience. So there we go. That's the question. That's Peg's answer. And so let's move on to our project. All right, so I'm in the master bathroom, and this is the location of today's project. I noticed this right when I moved in, that they had these knobs on all the drawers here, but they didn't put any knobs on the cabinets here. And these are a little hard to open because you kind of got to get in here, and they're spring-loaded and all that. But there's no knobs there. I got the knobs on the drawers here, but once again, no knobs over here. And I noticed this almost immediately when I moved in. I said, that's a little weird. But then I was kind of looking around, and I noticed in this drawer here, they left me some extra knobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to install knobs on these 4 drawers today. So that's a real simple thing. Actually, I could do it in here, but I think I'm just going to take the doors off and take it out in the garage and do that. Do that out there, because I think it'll be easier out there. So let's get going on this. Alright, so I've removed all 4 of the doors just to be safe. I numbered them so I know which one's which, and can kind of keep everything paired up the way it needs to be. I also have my blowers out here. I got my fan and my porta-cool going here just to kind of make it tolerable out here. So if you hear the wind blowing, that's what it is. So first thing I want to do is I want to make sure that I get the holes in the same place on every one of them, because if the holes aren't lined up, it's going to really look horrible. So to do that, I need to come up with some way to make sure they're in the same location on every cabinet. So this is one of the doors flipped up, and I have all sorts of locations where I could put it. I could put it right here in the middle, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and fit it right in here. And so I want to get it as close to the center of this little section right here as possible. And so I want to have it centered this direction and centered this direction. So, and then I got to make sure I copy that same hole configuration onto all the others. Otherwise, the knobs won't look right. Now, what I've done here, just to make sure I don't drill the hole in the wrong corner here, is I put a piece of tape over all of the sections where I want the holes to be, just because I don't want to actually do one here or do one here or something like that and get confused if I'm not paying close enough attention. So this is going to be the location where all the holes are, and like I said, I just want to kind of get it centered into the middle of the board there, and at the same level on every one, so that they look nice and consistent across all the drawers. Okay, so what I've done is I've actually measured from here to here, and of course it's the same distance here, and it's basically 1 1/8 inches. So what I want to do is split that right down the middle. So half of 1 1/8 is 9/16. So I've set up my caliper for 9/16, and I've measured a compass out so that it's got a spread of exactly 9/16. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across this line here and this line here, and I'm going to draw a line, part of a circle across here and a part of a circle here, and where the lines cross, that's going to be my center mark. Alright, so I've made all my marks here. I've just made them in pencil right on top of the tape, and they're all in the same place. Also, one of the things I've done is I've also placed tape on the back side, because sometimes when the drill comes through the back side, it'll rip up the bottom layer. I don't want to do that. I want to have it nice and smooth. This isn't really something they teach you in woodworking school, but if you put some masking tape or some sort of tape over it, it doesn't tear up the wood as much when the drill comes to the bottom. Alright, so these are the screws that I'm going to use. Now, I needed to know what the diameter of the screw was, so I used my handy dandy calipers here. Found out that the screw diameter is 5/32. So I don't want to drill a 5/32 hole. I want to take the next size larger, which is 11/64. So I grabbed an 11/64 drill bit, and I also grabbed a 3/32 drill bit, because I'm actually going to drill a little pilot hole first, just to kind of get everything lined up. Now the truth is, I could do this with a hand drill, but you know what? I got this nice drill press that I inherited from my father, and that's going to actually probably be a preferable option anyway, because now I'm going to get a hole that goes straight through. It isn't going in some angle. So this is that 3/32 bit. I'm going to start off with that. I actually punched a little pilot hole into into the wood so that I can, make sure I'm in the right location. So let's drill out the tiny pilot hole first. All right, so I got everything lined up. You can turn on the drill and begin drilling. And basically I've kind of measured everything just to make sure that the drill bit goes all the way through the door and a little bit into the wood that I have underneath it. And I can actually tell I've gone through the backside now and I'm in the wood beneath it. So alright, so there's the back side. So yeah, you can see we went all the way through, and we also kept from tearing too much of the wood off of the side, so off of the back side, so that's good. So let's go pre-drill the other 3 holes. Alright, so I got all 4 of the pilot holes drilled. Now I'm going to switch bits to the larger bit, and let's just finish up the job. Alright, so you'll notice I've got this flat piece of wood underneath my underneath the doors that I'm filling, that I'm drilling. That also contributes to reducing the amount of tearing that you tear the backside out when the drill bit comes out the backside, because when the flat side of this is making contact with the flat side of the board underneath it, it's less likely to tear out. So like I said, it's just double efforts to try and avoid damaging the backside of this door. Through. And there we go. Now we got the larger hole drilled onto all 4 of the doors. All we got to do now is attach the hardware. And there we go. The new knobs are installed. Alright, so we got these on and installed and back on the cabinets. They look pretty good. Now I'm noticing that this one here is a little bit off. The knobs aren't exactly on the same level, but I also noticed that the cabinets aren't exactly perfectly level either. But I was noticing with the hinges inside, there's some adjustments that I can make that will raise or lower. So I think I'm going to lower this door just a hair so that these 2 knobs line up a little better. So these are the adjustments I see here. It looks like I loosen this screw, and the 2 on the hinge below, that there's actually a little bit of sliding up and down I can do. And I'm sure that was designed just to make sure that we make these things look nice and level and flush the way they're supposed to. So I'm going to make that adjustment. I'm going to lower this one by about 1/8 of an inch. There we go. That looks a lot better. Now it turns out that I actually couldn't make this door go down far enough in order to make it line up with this one. But then I looked at this hinge over here, and this hinge was as far down as it would go. So I ended up raising this door up a little bit. But now it's nice and smooth across the top, and now the knobs look right too. So there we go. We're all done now. This is another one of the many pieces of evidence I've found around this house that led me to believe that the previous owners just had to pick up and move very, very quickly. And they got as many things done as they could, but they just couldn't get to everything. This took me all of 30 minutes to do, and maybe a little longer because I was filming a vlog at the same time and narrating and doing all that fun stuff, setting up shots. But, you know, that's all it took to get this done, and it looks much better now. This bathroom looks finished. So anyway, I think that is all that I have for today. I would like to take a moment to thank Dana Pertzer for making a very generous PayPal donation. Thank you so much, Dana. Appreciate it very much. And for the rest of you, thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time on Escaping the Mouse. Good night.